All right, we are recording. So, for those that don't know me, my name is Candy Strahan. I am a blessed mama of three from Texas, and my husband David. We've been married 18 years. He's on here. He's the one waving, and we've been with Prove It a little over a year and a half. So, I'm super excited to be on with everybody sharing. This is our Keto Academy and More Takeaway Zoom. We opened it up to all of our sidelines community, wherever you're coming from, to be able to just share with y'all the love, the experiences, and the fire that we all were doused with this week and this weekend through the event, and just hopefully give you a little bit more perspective of what happened, what to look forward to for the next event, kind of clue you in on some things, because I know nothing is worse than when you're not present at an event and all of your friends or your teammates come back and they're using code words, you feel like, and you're like, what are they talking about? So we're going to help clue you in on a few things. Babe, can you grab my my Disney purple notebook in my packet? I didn't grab that.
Okay, let me also get the note.
Yeah, he's okay. We're this is real life, y'all. We've got kids and dogs running around everywhere. So while he's getting that, I wanted to, or actually he wanted to share with y'all a little bit about Kids Pursuing Better. He is antsy to share. He was like, Mom, I'm doing the Zoom. I was like, hold on, let's just wait. And that was 30 minutes ago. So for those of y'all that don't know, Keto Academy and More, we also have Kids Pursuing Better. It's for pretty much all ages. They actually raised or lowered the age restriction. So it used to be 3, now it's 3 months, I think, to the age 13. They have different classes and different programs for different age groups. But in the More packet. And we actually have they get to see the speakers, they get to do programs right alongside of us in their own little kids class. And it was really, really awesome. I was super nervous. First time our kids done an event. And sorry, I have to keep muting. If you come in and you have some feedback or you're in a really noisy area, you could just go ahead and just mute when you come on, or you catch that noise. It'll keep the line clear and we'll get really good recording and everybody will be able to hear. So, but our kids program was just a way for us to be able to include our kids. I love that our family, our whole family can be involved in our business. It's a huge, huge support for us to be able to do this together. And I know there's a lot of families out there that love that. So he wants to share. He's been begging. He wants to kind of give you a kid's perspective, so that maybe if you're thinking about bringing your kids to Keto Academy and More, what to expect, what his takeaway is coming from him versus me being able to share with you, so that you have a good outlook on if you want to bring your kids, what they have to look forward to. And you can even share this Zoom. I'll post the recording later and let them hear it themselves if they're a little nervous or they're not quite sure. But come here, you can sit down. Yeah. All right, they can see you. So tell them your name.
Jacob.
And what do you want to tell them about Kids Pursuing Better?
It was fun.
It was fun?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do? What'd you think about it? Were you nervous?
No.
No?
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you do? Tell them what you did.
We done exciting experiments. We went to the zoo. We done water balloons. We went to the park.
Can you talk a little louder?
We didn't do that much.
You didn't do that much?
No.
Who all got to come see you? Did you get to hear Coffee Anderson sing?
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to hear different speakers and learn things about leadership?
Yeah.
And how to be a good person in your community?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell them anything about that? Did you do leaderboards?
Uh-huh.
Was that fun?
Mm-hmm.
So what did you feel? Did you feel like it made you better?
Yes.
Awesome. Anything else you want to tell them? Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Are you satisfied?
Yeah.
Okay, good job. So first off, that's huge. A lot of y'all, if you may not know Jacob's story, he has a lot of focus issues and just he's not very outward, we'll say. So Sharon is really, really huge for him. But he had a really incredible time. The staff was incredible. They made him feel super loved and comfortable. And like, I just can't tell you how much it meant for our kids to be blessed while we were blessed in a different way, and for us all to be able to experience it as a family. So without hesitation, like, we will absolutely have our kids there with us in Dallas. They are super pumped and excited about it. And like, I get it. Like, the tickets might be a little bit scary, but I promise you, you get every bit of value that they're worth. Like, it covers every material they use, like all of everything. Like, it is so worth it. So I will just tell y'all, do it. Don't hesitate. And where there's a will, there's a way. Like, you can make it happen. But now we're going to get into a few takeaways. I've asked a couple of people, and I haven't had a chance to ask everybody that I knew that was there to just come on and kind of talk about some of their breakthroughs, their takeaways, and what they're going to implement into their business. But let's dial it back in just a second. If you don't know what Keto Academy and More is, if you weren't there, I just kind of want to recap what that event is. We usually have 2 a year. So we've had our first one. Our next one's coming up September, I want to say the 23rd. Was it 23rd through the 27th? Is that the dates? In Dallas, Texas. We do not have a location or anything like that, but it will be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And it will be like posted as it comes available 20 through the 23rd. Okay. So mark that on your calendar and go ahead and circle that you're going. Like, I'm going to manifest that for you, and I'm going to claim that for you because it's worth it. You need to be there. But it is an event our company does to bring in Keto Academy first. Is what we open with is to bring in thought leaders. And really, we don't even have to bring them in. Like, they just beg to come. They're excited to come. They have been working for years and years and years to get the research and the ketone education in that space out to the public. And as you can imagine, seminars go over with doctors and things like that. And it's sometimes really hard to get your message across. So as you can imagine, when you have a room full of fired up, prove it people that are genuinely experiencing the benefits of pure therapeutic ketones, and then have other people that they care and love about experience them, they get really excited, and they love coming and pouring into us so that we can turn around and share that message with the world, and it grows a lot faster. So we have some of the best in the world, not just in the country, but in the world, coming to Keto Academy every single time, sharing about the education, the science, how it works in the body, what the benefits are, like these studies that are happening to further ketone research, and it is absolutely mind-blowing. The second part, and the cool thing is with Keto Academy, you get to do Q&A with these doctors. So if you've ever had anybody, or if you're one of those people that just really is blown away or excited or curious about the science and the mechanics behind ketones, or prove it, or like what we're doing is the science side, it's definitely an event you want to get to for that, because you get an opportunity to have closeness, proximity to people that have the answers you're looking for. More is the best of the best, as far as, I call it a kick my hiney session. And some people are like, that might not sound good, but for me, I look at it as I need it. Absolutely amazing event. Not only do you get tactical, like logistics on how to run your business, tips and tools, and get to hear from current credibility and leaders in our company that are moving and shaking and doing, but you also get to hear from some of the most incredible speakers, like Victoria Arlen. If you don't know who she is, look her up. She was on Dancing with the Stars not too long ago. She still has zero feeling in her legs. but she taught herself how to walk after being in a locked-in vegetative state for a long period of time. And the doctor's basically just saying that she wasn't going to live. So really, really powerful story of how she overcome, how she focused and got over her fears. We got to hear from, I can't remember who all, there was a whole list, like amazing, amazing speakers, but she just really stood out to us. You get to hear from our own CEO and get to hear his heart and the mission of Prove It, like on a more amplified level. And you get pushed outside your comfort zone. Like a lot of times, I know I was one of them when I first came to Prove It. Yes, Mel Robbins, how can I even forget? Jarek Robbins was another one. That's Tony Robbins' son. But if you don't or haven't gotten the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins, I can't suggest it enough. Like everybody has that 5-second gap between deciding that they're going to do something or talking themselves out of something. Like, oh, I know I really need to go mow the yard, but, it could rain and I would have to go put my shoes on. Like that 5 seconds that you're thinking you shouldn't do something, like just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go do it. So much science in it, and she talked about it, and she brought people up on stage. It was just incredible. I'm sure you'll hear that in some of the takeaways in a second. But it was just a really amazing opportunity to grow personally as a person, to overcome your fears, to break through. We did the Arrow Break Challenge this time. I know a lot of y'all were following the Facebook Lives and saw a lot of your team doing it. And it was just really about overcoming and stepping through your fears of what's holding you back and keeping you from playing big or playing full out. So, like I said, I know a lot of people think, Ryan talks about this all the time. My husband, is he on here? Yeah, I see. Was the very first event was one of those. He was like, oh, this is going to be another one of those rah-rah things. It's like a pep rally. And so I'm calling him out. He's admitted it. I'm not embarrassing him. But a lot of people have that impression that it's going to be another one of those kind of conventions or like another kind of business. How can I increase my sales? How can I grow my business? That kind of thing. And we play music. We get out of our comfort zones. We hug people. We high five. They're going to hijack the Zoom. And it gets people outside of their bubbles and their comfort zones for a reason. We had people that literally were at the back of the room, the very first part of the event, that were at the front of the room by the end of the event and was like all in, dancing, clapping, having a good time. And they were pushing boundaries and growing. And I know that sounds weird, but until you're there and experience it, like you can't really fully understand it. Okay, y'all are going to have to settle down. Someone's going to get hurt. Hey, go in there with Daddy. Go there. Go get on his picture. So I am going to turn it over to Amanda and Chad. Can y'all share real quick just some takeaways and like what you feel like the biggest impact that y'all had from this event?
Hey guys. So for me, I think Mel Robbins was the biggest takeaway for me. Because not only in business, but in dealing with personal problems or personal issues, like, with the kids and stuff, just counting that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, taking that breath and then reacting rather than just that snap reaction. That was probably my biggest thing. And just knowing that to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go and ask that person, hey, what do you know about ketones or ketosis? Or have you ever heard of ketones or ketosis before?
Or just starting that conversation.
Yeah.
Building that relationship.
Yep. So I think for me, Mel Robbins was the biggest thing.
I really liked her a lot. I saw her when we had More in Vegas. So that was my second time seeing her at More. And then I had actually seen her one other time earlier last year. And she's just amazing. You can look her up on YouTube. Her book is amazing. she makes things very simple. And we've actually been using 54321 even outside of the business, like just with the kids and making decisions. So she was huge for us. We also really liked Jarek Robbins. I had heard him before, but I had never seen him live. So he was very impactful too. So Mel Robbins, by far my favorite, but it was really nice to be in the venue that we were in too. It was really neat to experience one of Brian Underwood's dreams come true. He's been wanting to host an event in I can't pronounce the city name.
Louisville.
Yep. In the Palace for a long time. So it was really neat to be a part of that. It was just a completely different venue from what we normally have our events in. So that was really neat. I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's good for now, but Mel Robbins, by far, she's my fave.
Awesome. So y'all, I just have a quick question. I know for us, like we've done the aero break before. So I know we got to participate at a higher level this time and actually be on the other side and do the boards. So like, can y'all share y'all's experience with what it felt like watching your team, like experience that and go through those emotions and like what those breakthroughs like mean on being on this side of it?
So the aero break is actually my all-time favorite part of MORE. It's the third time that I've been able to participate in like assisting other people. And it's really hard to explain until you experience it. Just like the entire MORE event, like you were saying earlier, it's not a rah-rah session. There's so much that you get out of these events, and to see people's emotions and to see them truly breaking through some of these fears and some of these things that are holding them back. To be able to be a part of that is incredible. We both got to help this time.
Yeah, I was kind of bouncing all over the place. I was passing out markers, setting up arrows for people, and just kind of coaching them through, stepping through that fear. I have yet to actually hold the board, so next event I will be holding a board. But it's just, like Amanda said, it's awesome seeing people break through those fears. And, you know, it's just like you see that almost big sigh of relief once they do it, and they're like, people are so excited. I know I was excited the first time I did it.
I was terrified the first time I did it. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? We're putting an arrow up to our throats. Like, and I remember Candy actually was very, very hesitant when she did it in Orlando last year. She was just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go. She didn't even know what 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 was. But she did it. And so last year that was something that was really cool to be a part of. But just being able to cheer people on and just see those emotions come out of people, you can't even explain what it's like.
Yeah.
It's an incredible feeling. And I was one of those, like, I did not sign the waiver. I did not volunteer. We were in the COC room beforehand, and they said, hey, we're going to need 20 or 25, I can't remember, volunteers. And of course, my husband runs to the front of the room, and a bunch of other Chad, and they were like, let's do it. They didn't even know what they were doing. And they had a lady get up there, and they demonstrated the aero break in our room. And I literally almost had a panic attack sitting there watching it happen. Like, oh my gosh, I had fear not for myself because I didn't sign up to do it. I was having fear for my husband. I was like, if anything is going to happen, it's going to happen to him. And that was like that 10% of fear. I can't really take it over. It was like 99.999%. And they pass out waivers in the event. We went into the other room. They're passing out waivers. And I'm sitting next to Jake. He's not from State Farm, Jake Owens, and Amber Walter-Pitts. I don't know if she's on here, but they peer pressured me into signing my waiver. And they were like, just sign it. You don't even have to go up there if you don't want to. Just sign it. So I had signed it. And I was like, okay, fine. They're handing me a pen. They're like putting my arm on the paper, making me sign it. That's how scared I was. And I wasn't going to do it. I honest to goodness was not going to do it. And so our CEO actually got up on stage and he was like, okay, we asked for volunteers. He said, but if you're a leader and you're a champ 8 and above, come up here and you're going to do it from the front. Like, you're going to lead from the front and you're going to do it. And I'm like, instant, like, want to have a heart attack. And I was like, okay, like, everybody's watching, like, our team is here, and like, he's right. Like, I have to overcome this fear and I have to lead from the front. So I got up, go to the front of the stage, and I'm psyching myself up. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And my husband comes up, the one that volunteered, and he is like having this like meltdown. And he's like, I'm like terrified. Like, I don't even know what to do. And he's like almost like projecting his fear off on me. And I told him, I was like, you're going to have to go back there. Like, you're going to have to go. I'm ready. I've assumed the responsibility and I'm going to do it. And you're like wigging me out. So I sent him to the back of the room. And I had to go do, like, I think Amanda went right before me. Amanda went and done it. And like, even though I'd seen her do it, I was still terrified, and she made it look like a breeze. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. Like, it's going to go through my trachea and I'm going to die. Like, that's all I could think. I'm going to be like, kids, I'm sending texts. I'm like, I love y'all. Your mom tried. Like, I did my best. And that's all going through my head. I get up there. And y'all, they had lots of drama music going on, and like, they were making sure that you'd signed your waiver and like, you were not holding Prove It responsible. So like it's really getting deep. And I get up there and like, I hesitated. I was one of the ones that hesitated. They tell you, like, push through your fears, don't resist, like, just lean into your power, push through. And I hesitated, and then went back and done it again and broke it. And I literally, hopefully y'all can hear me, I literally walked off the stage. Like, I didn't celebrate. I didn't do anything. I was just like, I walked through there and just kept walking. And it hit me like a ton of bricks afterward. I was like, we need to celebrate more. Like, that was my breakthrough then when I hit that arrow, was like, celebrate. And
so I have my arrow from the first time that we did it. So this is what it looks like.
And it's a special arrow. There's not like any barbs or anything on it.
No.
And Brian jokes and says they do this so that if it does go through, they can just pull it right back out. So it's still special arrows. Don't try this at home.
Yeah.
But it really is, even though, you know, and like, we've done it multiple times, it's still just as like fresh, and you're like, holy moly. So it's very powerful. I can't wait for y'all to hear from more people about their breakthroughs and like what that arrow represents. And if you want to go into that and share, like, we'd love to hear it. I think there's power in stories. Y'all hear Jared talk about that all the time. You hear Beaky talk about it. Like, tons of our community talk about learning and being empowered through stories. So it's kind of why we wanted to do this, was because I can tell you, and Chad can tell you, like, we have different leaders on here, they can tell you. Jill was there, she's telling her team, but I want you to hear it from multiple mouths and multiple hearts and different personalities, so that you can take it all in. And just like, if we can make you feel like you were even there in a tenth of a portion, like, I think that will accomplish what we want to do on the Zoom. But definitely encourage you and like, just pour into you, so that you know and you believe that you need to be at the next one. So I mean, Jill, if you're ready, I see you bright and sunshiny in your blue shirt. Can y'all hear me? Sure. There we go.
Yep, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Jill looks like she's frozen up a little bit. Oh, no.
Yep.
Jill, can you hear us?
Do you want me to go? Can you hear me? I don't know if you have me muted. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we sure can.
Okay. On my end, my internet's going in and out a little bit, so I apologize to everybody. But we've had like storms and stuff like that. But More and Keto Academy, to give you guys a short synopsis from a first-time person who's gone to any event with Prove It, it's unlike anything else. If you've been with any other company, it's a lot of rah-rah, right? And it's all about sell, 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 and it's all about the leaders and how much money they made, and it's all about recognition. So I had no idea what to expect when I went, and I was pleasantly surprised. I am a ketogenic and intermittent fasting geek. I love to study it, so I nerd out on that stuff. So KK Keto Academy was amazing for me. It was some of the top doctors that I've studied and listened to and researched before I even started on ketones. And it was so well done. The information was incredible. I have pages and pages and pages of notes for me to just absorb and use as a resource when I'm talking to people. But the best part for me was more. I did not expect what it was going to be like. I knew that Mel Robbins was going to be there. I knew that Jarek was going to be there, but I didn't really know exactly what to expect. And it took me to a place that I don't feel like I've ever gone in my life that quickly and that intensely, to look at my stuff and say, I need to own this stuff, and I need to be willing to, if I want to grow my business and if I want to grow my life and I want my life to be the next level, I need to look at me for real and say, I'm letting go of all of it. So Mel Robbins was in the morning. Jarek was at the night. We were about to do the arrow. I have my arrow, so y'all can see I did it too. Mine is all broken. Same thing, little tiny middle tip. And I wasn't scared. It was interesting. I didn't feel fear. I felt ready because we had that whole day of incredible talks, and Brian Underwood was amazing. I mean, can you guys agree? Was he not amazing before Jarek? I mean, he was just amazing. So we had all of these talks that were all leading up to the letting go. When it came for the arrow, I was ready. And I was had all this energy in me and this anger and intensity to be I'm breaking the stinking arrow. So when it didn't break the first time I walked, I got so mad at myself. I'm like, what's wrong? I can't get the arrow to break. And then they're all cheering me, and people that don't know me literally were around me, loving me. And that was present every single part of this weekend. The 4 days was people that were total strangers before became some of my closest friends and felt like family by the time I left. And that's what it was like to have the arrow break with total strangers that were loving you through any emotions that you had. They didn't care. They just wanted to see you break through. And after I break through, I was dancing and jumping around because I truly felt that release. It was I was done and I was changed. It's been an amazing experience for me. Woke up the next day and I knew that was never coming back. But everything that I wrote down and everything I wanted to get rid of was gone. So it was quite an incredible experience for me. If you need to let go of things, if you are looking for better, and that's what I love about Prove It, you guys, is that they're true to their word. We're in the pursuit of better, and they mean it in every area of your life, physically, emotionally, spiritually. They're pursuing better, and they help you at this event to do that.
So I have a question for you. This was your first Keto Academy more, but it was also your first corporate event and getting to be a part of the community and getting to interact with everybody. So what overall, your sense of the community and what Prove It is, the culture that we're cultivating and what we're making sure that we maintain, what did that feel like coming in as an outsider, being a part of the COC, huddle ups and debriefs and things, and your perspective on our community and a whole of I think you had said it to me and a couple other people about the people, genuinely, it's not an I team. It's not, this is one team, the whole Prove It as a team.
I think that was pretty fascinating. Actually, that's a big piece for me. So there was people from Australia, Canada, and Hong Kong, all over Asia. All the new teams were there, and nobody was treated differently. It wasn't oh, well, they're that team or they're that team. It was a community. So that was the first time I saw what Brian always talks about, community marketing, community-based marketing, and we hear it on all the huddle calls. I saw that in action, so that was really cool. So I got to experience that. Being in the COC for me was really cool to see the different levels of COCs, different, you hear about them, you see them, you hear them on the phone calls and everything else, but to see them in person and what really matters to them, and to see their heart and how they shared their heart and the intimacy in which we all shared, and were able to debrief from what did we like, what do we think that they could do better. And what was happening is every day it was getting better because of what we saw or what we got the feedback. That automatically was implemented, and I was really impressed. I think the first thing I told Scott, my husband, was this company is so different than any other company I've ever associated to or ever tried to represent. They're not just talking about better, they're doing better. So that was really cool. And I felt safe, as you guys know, I felt really safe to be intimate with a bunch of strangers.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
I just want to kind of elaborate, like if you're brand new or you're just getting started and you don't know what COC is or what like we're talking about, COC is our Circle of Champions when you get ranked 6 at that $30,000 team level. It's your first real like step into leadership and to prove it. And what happens is at events we have like a lot of times companies will have special like meetings, but they're for recognition. Our COC level meetings are for debriefs and for creating energy and holding each other accountable to a whole different level. Like we go into the room not to get first seats. We go in the room to prepare the space for our teams and our community. We like build the anticipation and the energy. Like we get kind of like that like that nudge in the rib, like, okay, you're showing, like, you're not showing and like up at your best, like, let's go. And so that's what Jill's talking about. And like every morning before session starts and every evening before, or even during lunch, we have 3 meetings a day for COCs to get that level of better that she's talking about, debriefs and bringing tips and suggestions up so that we can implement those into the days and get something's not going the way it needs to. If there's an issue, like we want to make it and adapt and grow. And I love that. But we also have a different level. So like our 8s and above, we have another debrief after that to take it even to a further level. So if by some chance you did not get to see your leader at the event, I promise you it was not because they were trying to avoid you or they were ducking in a corner. It was simply because we were doing our best to just take it to another level and just make the event the best of the best of the best. So
can I say one more thing, Candy, about that? Because that's real. I think that's like for everybody that's new, that's never been to one like me, you're not going to feel like you're not important. I could not believe how everybody was inclusive and how it didn't matter that it was the first time I was at an event. Nobody treated anybody like that. Like there were perfect strangers next to me because Brian had us change seats several times. So we had perfect strangers next to us and I was loving on them and hugging them. I don't even know them. We were hugging each other, praying for each other, laughing, crying, asking if we were okay. When we were in the Circle Champion meetings, these people never met me before. They didn't treat me like I was new. They treated me like they've known me forever. And that was really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I mean, before you know it, you're like passing snacks and trying to help each other survive through the day. Like, it's really awesome. Like, I cannot wait for everybody.
When you share bacon with somebody, it's real. Just saying.
We have shared bags of bacon. So, Heather, I can't see her. I know she's on somewhere, but Heather Weaver. Hey, she's all pretty. Hold on, let me unmute you.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I had to step out of the restaurant. We were at dinner, but I was waiting to get my turn. Get my turn.
Well, you're on. It's yours.
So, biggest takeaway, right? Well, and you guys have covered all of them. I'm like going, okay, I don't know what to talk about because, I mean, I love Mel Robbins. I love Victoria. And both of those were probably 2 of my biggest awesome takeaways. I think, Victoria Arlen by far was just absolutely incredible to see a 23-year-old young girl have wisdom beyond her years, with such grace and poise to have gone through what she's gone through. And here we are, we gripe about, oh, my toe hurts. And the girl can't feel her legs. And it just put a lot of things in perspective of our day-to-day in and out, what we are grateful for and staying in that state of gratitude. And just keeping it real with ourselves and not allowing ourselves to go down the rabbit trail of ungratefulness and entitlement. And so I think she really, just powerful. So that was probably one of my all-time favorite things about the weekend. I know Amanda and Chad talked about the aero break. Okay, so I had the privilege of being behind the board, And I'd done the aero brake before. It was, great. The last more this time, and I think this is probably one of the coolest things too, is that because we had some of our Hong Kong Frubers come over and join us. And I was listening to Matty V earlier today on one of his lives, and he was, or maybe it was last night, I don't know, you know what, the days are kind of all running together. But and he was talking about how, that language barrier, but when you get into that place, like, there was no barrier. We were all there breaking through the things that hold us back from stepping into the greatness that we are created for. And so being able to be behind that board and having those people on the other side who don't speak the same language, but yet they were so excited. And I mean, we celebrated them, and they would hesitate. I mean, there was this one lady, and, of course you don't catch their names or anything, but it was incredible. She literally was like shaking like a leaf. And I took her and I held her hand and I just said, take a deep breath. You're going to do this. You can do this. And, and I was able to calm her down and coach her through this fear that she had. And she like broke down afterwards and was just so grateful to be able to, get through that fear and have somebody coach her through it. And I mean, do what?
Somebody's
Oh. Okay. So that was incredible. And, she doesn't speak the same language. And here she is just sobbing like a baby. I don't mean to say that in a negative way, but it was just a very powerful, because we all have our stuff. We all have our junk that we hold on to. And we're created for so much more. And it just all comes in full circle when you take Victoria's story and you take the 5-second rule and you take the aero brake and you just put it all together and you realize what you have in life. And we have absolutely nothing to be ungrateful for. Everything is just a gift, and we need to live our lives as, each day. And what we have as far as an opportunity here, again, full circle, is something that people only dream of. And so being able to be a part of that was just absolutely incredible.
Awesome. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know you've been to several Keto Academies more. I think you've been to all of them since well, not all of them, but since you joined.
Right.
As far as the value showing up in your life, your business, your personal growth, would you say that it's 100% or more worth it for every ounce that you've put in, and like the investment that you've put into yourself and your business and your family? I mean, I know the answer, but I want them to hear it.
Well, one, it should say something that I still continue to go. And so I think that in itself answers the question, because I wouldn't put out the financial aspect of it if I didn't feel that I wasn't going to get something beneficial from it. I think it's an anchor to pull you back into why you do what you do, why we go out and share this conversation, because we have, it instills a belief not only in the product, but in ourselves. And when we lack within ourselves, it's just like Brian says, you're kicking out one pillar of that stool and you're not stable. And so, you've got the company, you've got the belief in yourself, and you've got the belief in the product. And if one of those is out of whack, then you're going to be lopsided somewhere. And so therefore you have to keep in connection with the community. And that way you've got all of it, just you're well-rounded. But yes, absolutely, 100%. I think it's very well worth it. You make a commitment, you figure out how to get there, and you just go. Like, I would highly encourage everyone to go buy the VIP pass, get your butt to as many conferences as you can to make that VIP pass worth it, and commit to going, and then just figure out how to get there. Like, commit, and then the rest will all fall into place.
Yep, solve for X. We've got tons of ways to make things happen. Like I found a loft in Louisville that slept like 26 people and was prepared to do Big Brother style, like prove it. Like however we need to make it happen, we can happen. But one other question. I know you had team there with you this time, and getting to experience that firsthand. I know Amanda and Chad talked about it a little bit, and I could talk about it forever, but like getting to see your team experience that and like their sense of awareness and their breakthroughs, like what did that feel like for you, and coming home having that extra little oomph?
Oh, definitely fire in the belly for sure. Watching them go through it, especially my girl Michelle. I mean, like, girlfriend's on fire. She sits there and goes, "I'm a changed woman," and I think she's on the Zoom right now. So, she'll be. It was life changing for her, and watching that from my perspective, getting to be a part of that was hands down probably more beneficial than me experiencing it myself, and it was just super cool. And then I had 2 guys there. Now, I will say this. A lot of my team is women. And so having 2 guys there was real different for me, especially when my husband wasn't there to kind of help kind of banter back and forth. But you create a bond. And the bond that the 4 of us all had together was awesome. I mean, like, you come in as strangers and you leave as family. And so I think that, you know, when you get connected with the community and when you get connected with your leaders, then it takes it to the next level, and you just see the value even more so. But yeah, it was pretty awesome to have them join me and get to watch them experience it.
It gives you a whole new reason to play harder.
Absolutely.
Well,
Because you're no longer playing for yourself.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, it was awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking time.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go grub up.
I'm just saying.
No, actually, I am eating keto-friendly sushi.
Well, I'm out. I'm good for that. Have that.
All right. All right.
All right. So I had one more lined up, but I don't see her. Ashley, I don't think she's on. If you're on, like, unmute yourself and start talking. But I'm going to actually let my husband, I think he had to escape to the Jeep to get some quiet time. But I'm going to let him share if he has a voice left.
I got some of the voice left. It'll be back next week sometime, I'm sure. Oh man, this has been a weekend or a week, or it feels like a month. I don't know. It's crazy. Like, time does. The days do just kind of run together. It's insane. So my biggest takeaway. Okay, I'm gonna be selfish. Mine was about me. It really was, guys. Which Keto Academy is absolutely amazing. I can never. Candy knows I geek out over Keto Academy. Like, I literally fanboy when Ken Ford comes on stage. Like, that dude is amazing. If y'all don't know who Ken Ford is, look up Dr. Ken Ford. His credentials will blow your mind. The man done promoted Kiss and Aerosmith and been the head of NASA, and now is working on artificial and amplified intelligence. It's just, and then I saw him come out of a workout gym area with, like, working, and the whole dude was like he's from Zeus or something. It's insane. It's just ridiculous. The man is not human, but he's awesome. So I'm gonna stop geeking out about that. But no, that is absolutely amazing. I can't talk enough about the power of the science. I can't. It's great. But more, I tell people, if you don't get to nothing else throughout the year, you get to a more. And I think my favorite part, okay, I ain't gonna be so. One of the favorite things that I've seen this weekend was getting to talk to some of our people that never experienced more before, and we tell them, look, this is going to be crazy. You're not gonna know how to take it. It's going to be a lot. Pack a lot of snacks because it's going to be long days. But you can't really fully tell them until they experience it. And then I get to, like, I went up to Jill. I think it was Jill, yeah. And I said, "Hey, what do you think about all this?" And she was like, "I had no idea." I'm like, "I know, right?" It's like, this is crazy. Like, you can't, huh?
Amy's on. She was one of them too.
Yeah, Amy. Like it was like nobody fully understands it until you experience it. It's one of them things.
Like
Barb
you
and
didn't
Brenda, what?
She said you
What?
didn't warn me.
I did. I tried. I tried to warn y'all. I really did. But to see the but to see the breakthroughs was absolutely beautiful. But I had breakthroughs, and I didn't really know I needed breakthroughs, or I just scratch that now. I knew I needed breakthroughs. I just didn't want to face them. I'm sure we've all been there. It's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 has been massive for me right now. And learning how to reset your mindset, basically, you're with the countdown, the breath, the breathing, and just letting that's huge. Like that's making me those two things are making me a better human. Like I no longer react when I feel that reaction coming on. I take the breath, I count down, I let it out, and I can completely reset, and I can come at things logically, and that has helped me already in the past few days with the kids. Guys, I can't even talk about it. It's amazing. But just knowing that we have so much more to give. Okay, like the arrow break for me, I'm like, I've done an arrow break, I'll break another one. And then, this is what I had coming in. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break an arrow. That's awesome. I like breaking arrows. It makes me feel like I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ugh. But then you sit through, and you go through all these dadgum emotions that they make you pull out of you. It's like you face stuff you got to face, actual fears that you're actually worried about. Now, I wouldn't share with y'all what mine was that I broke through. Hang on. I'm going to share with you. So, my fear was, and I know this is probably going to be like, really, David? Yeah, but seriously, my fear was that I'm not at the caliber of leadership. So why, and this was my fear, so why try? Like, we have some of the best leadership ever in this company. Like, I can't even. Those guys, everybody, the vision they have is insane, and it intimidated the heck out of me. So, it wasn't like I'm scared to step into a ship. It was just more of a cop out. You know what I'm talking about? Like they got somebody that'll do that. I ain't got to worry about it. I'm just gonna step back. Literally, just blocked myself from receiving any kind of blessings or stepping into any kind of power that I had. So I had to face that this weekend and snap through that. I'm like, no, I got something to bring. And learning how to accept gratitude. That's hard to do sometimes. People give you a compliment, guys, take it. Say thank you. I was always like, no, stop, don't do that, and just try to, no, seriously. If somebody pays you a compliment, accept it. Say thank you and know that it's truth. It's your truth. Know that. It's yours. Take it. Own it. I had to learn how to do that this weekend. It's not easy for a lot of people because if we talk to somebody the way we talk to ourselves, we get punched in the face a lot. I think if we said the things to people that we say about ourselves, I think we would get hit in the face a bunch, like because we put ourselves down so bad. Stop it! Just stop it! So as we learn, stop. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Like for me, my breakthroughs, every time have evolved or changed, and like we still tell ourselves stories every day. Like something can happen, we feel a little bit of resistance, and a lot of times it's easy to just be like, oh, like I'm okay. Like, but no, your resistance is your power. Like when you feel that resistance, you gotta like move forward. You gotta press through. Like move, like literally. Like I was coaching everybody on the board. It was my first time to hold the board this time, and like David is like a beast. He literally was shaking after he got done. I swear I've never seen any more sweat come out of his body. Like he gave everything. I was pumped. And the poor people that got me, like I felt like I was doing them a disservice, but like holding that board and seeing them go through all those emotions and those fears that I did was super, super powerful. But like, I just kept thinking like, and telling them and coaching them. Like that's one of my gift zones is like believing and breathing life into people. And I owned that this past weekend of like, you know what, I'm really good at loving and supporting on people. And like, I may not do it in a big, like, way, but I'm going to like coach them through how to get through this fear and how to like come on those others forward. And like every single one of them that I would tell, like everything, see this board I'm holding? Like everything that you're fighting for, everything that is important to you, that you are like winning for, that you are going big for, like your family is burning down in the house on the other side of this board, and you're doing everything you can to get to them, and like don't stop. And every single time I would tell them that, like they literally would just like crush it. Like they would be so full of fear until I would tell them that, and then they would just like literally like, and that there was so much story and power in that. And for me, like through all of the sessions was like, you're so much more powerful than you think. But when somebody helps you to unload the garbage, which Jairek Robbins and Mel Robbins and all of them did that, we unloaded the garbage. We replaced them with good, powerful, positive thinking and like empowering thoughts. We realized that, you know, we had to write, he made us write down, like, who are we playing big for? Like, who are we in it to win it for? And we had to list like every single person. And it was like, of course, you know, my family and like my faith and like, you know, I want to win big for relationships and our team. And like, I just made this big long list. And like, as each one was listed, I was just like, man, I felt like Rocky, like climbing up the top of the stairs. And like, when I got to the top and we were done, I was just like doing my little Rocky dance inside. But like, we are all so much more powerful. And it's sometimes, like I talked about on a live today about what inspiration is. It is power of proximity. It's what you choose to focus on. And to me, more in getting to those events and being around this community, you're getting more and more powerful. You're tapping into your inner best self and pushing your own self to level up by being in those environments. And not only, like, I know a lot of y'all are in this business for the business, and that's amazing, but what it does for you on a personal level to grow you as a mother, a father, a daughter, a son, you know, whatever. If you have children, you start to see it show up in your relationships with your children and how you coach them and interact with them. You realize the power of the ripple that you're creating in their legacy, and that will be passed down to your grandkids and your great grandkids and so on and so on. And that is from that inspiration to get to these events. So I can't tell you how many excuses that David and I faced. I know Amanda and Chad and like probably dozens of people that attended Keto Academy and more had reasons to not be there. We fought tooth and nail to get there and had to adapt like crazy to make it happen. And I'm so thankful that we did. Like, y'all, money doesn't fix everything. Like, when you have the money to be able to do things, it doesn't fix things. You still have life. Like, that doesn't ever stop. But adapting and setting your desire to win, and that I'm going to make it happen somehow, some way, so high, it's worth it. Because when we came out of that event, like, needing a refresh, needing a recharge, needing a refocus, and I can't tell you, like, I'm ready to run to legend. Like, I'm just like, let's go. Like, there's no looking back, no single person that's going to come in contact with us or anybody in this community that's going to not be able to chase their dreams and pursue better, and that is going to believe that they're not worthy of it, because we are all filled up and ready to go. So I'm telling you right now, without a hesitation, don't think about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as soon as those tickets become available, get yours. Mark it on your calendar. If you need to tell your boss, hey, guess what? I'm needing some time off for these days right here, or I will work double so that I can be off this time. Whatever you got to do. If you need to work your fruit business so you can tell them where to shove it, I don't care. Let's make it happen. Let's get resourceful. You've got amazing leaders and supports in this community that will help you get there. We can solve for X. Like, you wouldn't believe some of the things that we've done to get people to Keto Academy and more. And
that's because, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's because of the shift that happens in somebody. It's not for us, because we've been through the shift. We're excited to see others get through that breaking through point, because we see where people struggle. We know, because we struggle too. That's something else you're going to find when you come to this event. or any event, you're going to find that everybody's story, you can relate, somebody can relate to somebody else, and you're not alone. I mean, I don't know how many times somebody told a story and we're like, I can relate to that. I'm not going through this by myself.
There was so much transparency and relatability and people being vulnerable, and their stories were so impactful. Like, I remember sitting there several times when people would get up for Q&A, and like they were going through some of the issues, like with Victoria Arlen, of like, neurological issues, or like learning how to walk again, or, battling some issues. And I was just like, holy smokes, these people are in our community. Like, that is huge. Like, look what we're getting to be a part of. And I walked away with so much more pride. I didn't think that was possible, but I walked away with so much more pride. I know our whole family did. We're like, this is huge. Like, and just this stupid grin on my face. Like, we get to do this. This is amazing. So we're fired up. I hope that y'all are a little bit more fired up and ready for the next event. I see Maddie B. Hey.
What's up? What's up, everybody? How you doing?
I'm great.
I was just kind of peeping in and listening, and I was totally relating with David too. I mean, I can just relate so much with you, brother. Super fired up and excited, and the event was just incredible, was it not?
Candy disappeared. I don't know where she went.
Well, okay.
Yes, it was amazing.
It was amazing.
Did you guys have fun? Did everybody have a good time?
Oh,
We
yeah,
did.
absolutely.
So until she comes back, who was your favorite speaker that you got to hear at More?
Well, I know you guys have probably been on for like 57 minutes. I was a little bit late, and like literally I'm juggling 2 different cell phones here, like Zooms and calls. But this event, I mean, Keto Academy and More, is the first time I went was a game changer all around for my business, for my mindset. But I think like my favorite speaker was Jarek Robbins. I've known Jarek just from kind of our overlapping business circles out in San Diego. And I mean, we were kind of like just acquaintance buddies, but really getting to listen to his full presentation. He said this to me, and it's been stuck in my mind ever since. Consistency is your identity, or identity is consistency, one of the two. And that really just resonated with me. And I haven't been able to get it out of my head. So like, I'm kind of looking at this identity side of things. Like, what do I want my identity to grow? Like, what's Matty V 4.0? What's this next version of better? What does that look like for myself? And how is that going to happen? How am I going to create that? And it's really going to come down to like the consistency of what my daily activities are. I know, I think I heard David say something about like getting the importance of getting to events, but at the same time, like, in order to be consistent, we got to be real too. Like, before I got to the event, our life was like chaotic. We packed up all of our stuff the week before and put all of our stuff into storage. And literally the night up until the night before our plane left at 6 a.m. or we had to be at the airport at 6 a.m., had to leave by like 4:30 a.m. And we're still putting stuff in our storage unit at 1 a.m. So, life is going to throw you every piece of resistance to keep you from stepping into your power and growing. Like, that's what growth is. It's resistance, right? Like a plant has to grow to break through that resistance in order to grow as well. But once you get to the event, you're like, smokes, all that shit, you're like-minded people who are there to learn and get the most out of this experience. And this more, like, compared to other Mores, it wasn't just the venue, but like the energy was just different. It was just different. I can't even like really explain it. It was so normal. It didn't feel, it was not some rah-rah, cheerleader types. Like, it was just different. Like, at one time I thought I was in like a Las Vegas nightclub on Saturday morning at like 9 a.m. and everybody's losing their mind. And so my epiphany was like, all of my friends that do like to go to Las Vegas nightclubs, but they work crazy, boring 9-to-5 jobs where they're miserable day in and day out, they would love this environment. So like, why aren't they here? You know, why aren't they here, like experiencing this and growing and learning and creating the next best version of better for them? So, you know, the whole event was a huge takeaway for me. I absolutely loved it. How about you guys?
Dude, I can't agree more with you about the energy. It was so different. It was like, it was deeper. It was just, I can't even, I don't have words for it, but it was just a different feeling. It was a more, and never that it wasn't ever genuine. It was just like, almost like this was like the foundation energy of what's to come, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it felt like we're getting ready to launch into the stratosphere. Like, you know, we've been saying we haven't scratched the surface of the surface, but like this was like, holy smokes, we are about to do something incredible.
Right, it's almost like they're bringing the rocket to the launch pad. That excitement of this is about to take off. That nervous, excited, we're about to do something epic or something crazy, something that nobody's ever done energy was all over the place.
It's like the song Thunderstruck. Like as you're talking, I that's all I hear inside of my body right now. I feel just thunderstruck. And that's the only way I can describe it.
You have to be there.
You have to be there.
You have to be there.
So go ahead, pencil it in your calendar. Go ahead and put it in your phone. Like, I will be at Keto Academy in Moore September 20th through 23rd. I promise you, you will not want to miss it. Like, you get there and you'll be like, oh my gosh, they were so right. And then there's more because you're like, they didn't tell me about this. Like, promise you won't leave the same person that you entered that room in or as. You not only do we get to get special, event goodies, I'll say that. We had an amazing lab, so you get to taste, test, and see some of the new technology and things coming to prove it. So if you haven't got to catch our lab, I think Amanda posted it several different places. But we did every new thing, like the Protones that are coming. We did the new energy drink that's coming. Like, it's amazing. Like, every bit of it. Oh, like, what was it? The jelly donut? Oh my gosh. Y'all, I don't like jelly donuts, but that was flipping amazing. Amanda said the same thing. So just those kind of perks are added to. And then not only that, but getting to be in a one-on-one environment is what it feels like with some of the top leaders and the thought leaders in our company and that are coming in to speak was huge. It's just like almost like you want to be like you feel like you should be quarantined because you got all these like I don't even know what you would call them, like these feels and everything going around, and it's like it's contagious. So it's just going around the room, and you can feel that when you're in there. But we also get we got our hands on the limeade. Who's excited about limeade, y'all? Like, did you get some? If you didn't, like, you need to like message your champs or somebody in your team and be like, oh my gosh, I need some. That stuff, I don't know where they come up with these flavors or how they do it. I don't think that they can get better, but they do. That one is a like summer flavor. It is going to be such a huge hit for your customers. If you're not getting that, at least one pack into some 5 days to get them into some hands so that they can taste them for the next flash sale, you're missing out. Like, pump your customers up. I would be doing mixers like crazy and letting them taste it so that you can get them ready for when it is released, because it's a really, really awesome flavor. It's very versatile. It is the new Optimized Max formula, so I wouldn't miss it. Like, as soon as you can get your hands on it, get your hands on it. They've got the bomb pack still available, and white midnight. If y'all didn't see that on the pulse or you haven't gotten it, like, now's the time. Make sure. I would be pulling reports. I would be going through and I would be seeing who has bought midnight of your customers and anybody in your community, and let them know. Say, hey, we've got a flash sale and it's even better. Like, it just got better. And it is white. Like, everybody is like, is it a new flavor? Is it different? No, it is still the black cherry vanilla flavor. It is the new optimized formula of Unleashed. So it's not Amped anymore. It's called Unleashed. And it will be white. It's not black anymore, or greenish black, whatever you want to call it. And it does have more ketones in it. So get your hands on some. Don't miss out. Don't let your customers miss out. Like if you woke up tomorrow and you had people messaging you saying, I wish I would have known, like, don't let those people miss out. Message them. Don't be afraid. Like, the worst they're going to say is no, or not this time. But you don't want them to message you tomorrow and be like, you should have told me. So message them. Lots of big things coming in the works and in the pipeline. Some of it, like, get with your champ leaders and pick their brains, or people on your team that were there. We got a lot of really awesome Facebook and social media tips from Ray Higdon that we'll have to save for another time. I had a whole bunch of notes, but I really think just hearing from different perspectives of what it was like to be there and what you have to look forward to, hopefully it would just pump you up to get there and give you a little bit more determination to make it happen, because y'all, like, there's just no words. There's no more words to say, just get there. So I appreciate y'all's time. We're going to wrap it up. We're running long. Appreciate all y'all hopping on and spending a little bit of time with us. Thank you to everybody that shared. Absolutely loved it. Loved seeing you all there and so many other people. And I can't wait for all of you that didn't get to be there to experience what we experienced, and for us to be doing a Zoom in September with more of you sharing your takeaways. So y'all have an amazing night, and that is a wrap. We will talk to y'all later. Bye.